a rant today about Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP. Well, not about KDP itself, actually, but about this massive, massive number of so-called experts that are, just literally crawling out of the woodwork on YouTube. I've never seen the like of it before. And so there are more and more of us getting tired of this. So what I've done is, rather than just do my usual, which is just sit here and talk, I've actually written down what I want to say for two reasons. One, I can easily go off at a tangent, and two, I have a bad habit of saying all the time. So I thought, right, let's sort it all out, exactly what I'm trying to say here. So here we go. So KDP is being turned into the equivalent of a pound or dollar store. Well, it is, because now it just seems to all be about the mass uploading of no and low content books, poor quality, a lot of them with different covers but the same interior. And KDP used to be something to aspire to. It meant something. Well, it meant something to me. It did. You know what? Writing your own book, getting it together for upload, seeing it available for purchase. It was your book. You did that. And even better, when somebody bought it. And there were authors on there who'd been doing it a long time. They got in when, it was a good time to get in. They got in the early days, and these people knew what they were doing, or they know what they're doing. And these were people that you'd aspire to, you would look up to. And, I know there is an equal sort of sense of hope and misery. I know I started in 2017, published my first book, a novella. I had no money for editing, no money for a cover. It was a really poor do. Anyway, but since then, over time, I have improved that. I've edited the book again and re-uploaded it, and the cover that's on it now, I had it done through somebody else, and it's selling well enough. I'm proud enough of it. And then following that, I've also published 3 non-fiction books. Now, I have published and deleted other books, and I've got a contemporary romance in a pen name, but that's another matter altogether. But what I'm saying is, KDP used to be something to aspire to. Now, however, the KDP world of self-publishing is looking very second-rate, and even KDP themselves are sick of the constant mass uploading of low and no content books. And I know this is true because I've spoken to people there on my own, publishing journey, and people have told me, staff there have told me, that their system is completely clogged up. So there are long delays in publishing books or, publishing amendments to books. And the backlog is being created by those who are uploading literally hundreds of books, many of them with the same interiors but different covers. Now, I have a confession to make. I myself have recently, in the last few months, been lured in and by a number of KDP experts. So, after publishing, the books I've spoken about, I have created and published 3 journals and 1 accompanying notebook. Why? Well, during the pandemic, everything was so awful that I lost my creative drive, and I think a lot of people did. I even stopped writing posts on my blog. And when I did actually force myself to write a blog post, it was melancholy. It was reflecting where I was at, in my mind and in my life. Now, I've been seeing these YouTube videos for at least a couple of years with regards to low content books. And to be honest with you, I never gave them a thought, just bypassed them. I did eventually subscribe to 2 or 3 of them because I wasn't interested in the low content book, but I thought maybe there was some advice that they would have, some information that would be useful, especially with some of the titles of the videos. So I did watch some of them. And then I decided to sell my soul to the devil. And I thought, well, why not create a journal? Okay. And I'll be honest with you, it got me back into the creative mode. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. So I did enjoy putting them together. But, I did the much sneered upon thing. I did it all through Canva, and I learned a lot about Canva as a result of that journey. Now I like Canva. I use it for my, I make little memes sometimes, or I use it for images for my website, Facebook posts, that kind of stuff, and I wrote poetry. I wrote my own poetry, and I wanted them to be nice. It was the point of these journals. I'm in the intuitive industry. I'm my day job, something I've been doing for 28 years. I'm an intuitive consultant, basically, really an intuitive life coach. And so, I'm into the self-healing, self-help movement, if you like, through the use of the mind, through figuring out different ways forward. Well, what do I need to know here? What can I learn from this? And so the journals reflected that. Now, they aren't selling, and that's not why I'm making this video. They're not selling. I'm not marketing them, to be honest with you. And I accept that sometimes a book can be around for ages and you'll sell a copy. I've sold 2 copies, but that's only to somebody that I know, I think is trying to be helpful. I don't think she desperately wanted them. But I'm not unhappy about that. But you know what? Even before I'd finished publishing them, I was feeling icky, as I call it, as if I was selling myself short. But I did give them my best shot. And, with my limited creative in terms of graphics, etc., and design, a limited knowledge and talent and skill. But I'd started to feel that, hang on a minute, I don't know, something's not right here. More and more so-called experts were jumping onto the bandwagon by producing YouTube videos extolling KDP's virtues as a cash cow, promising great riches, encouraging mass uploading, and gone were the days of being able to feel proud of your achievements in the world of self-publishing. Indie authors already had a bit of a bad reputation amongst the snobs of the publishing world, who felt that traditional publishing was the only real way forward and only a real writer would be traditionally published. But you know what? That is rubbish as well. Because anyway, most publishing houses are not taking people on. They tend to be taking on celebrities or people who are already really successful. But as soon as even a successful writer is selling less books, I know because I've heard this, I've listened to interviews and read articles on the subject, they're dumped. And the advances that are being given nowadays are, tiny. And so those glory days of traditional publishing have gone. And a lot of successful authors are choosing indie publishing because it gives them freedom and they can actually make more money, because a lot of the publishing houses don't even have much money for marketing. And so the author ends up having to do a lot of their own marketing. So anyway, indie authors were already under the, under the cloud of, you're not really writers. And I'm sure there's a mixed bag out there. There will be some awful independently published books available on Amazon, and there'll be some brilliant books out there as well. Yeah, it's trial and error, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, gone were the days of being able to feel proud about your achievements in the world of self-publishing. But one of the things that started to bother me the most was the monthly income reports. What was that about? To say, look, you too can earn squillions by flooding the market with swiftly thrown together notebooks, etc. Or was it to rub salt in the wounds of the vast majority of those who were never going to see more than a few quid from their efforts? There's no guarantee that those reports are even authentic. There isn't, is there? Most people could figure out how to put one together using online tools. And also, what else has been going on? How many followers do they have in the first place? How much, I'm saying how much have they actually spent on advertising? Or, really and truly and genuinely, have they spent 1,000 to make 1,000? Are their books even selling? Because you know what? There are some out there who claim to be doing ever so well. There's a lot of people that I have listened to over the last 12 months. Well, a handful of people who, you would think, oh, well, they're trustworthy because they've been on here for a while. and so, they know what they're talking about. And when it's possible to actually check out their books, and often it isn't, because obviously more so with the low and no content books, people don't want you pinching their ideas. It's different if it's a self-help book or a novella or something. But when it is possible to find out, they don't appear to be selling zillions of books. Okay. So are the books even selling in the real world? And how can someone whose experience of KDP that amounts to weeks or months possibly set themselves up as having anything of any worth to offer on the subject? They're not experts, are they? But unfortunately, we live in an era of get rich quick with as little effort as possible. And for most people, that approach is never going to pay off. It's never going to pay off. There are no free lunches in this world. And why would we want them anyway? Really? Why would we want them? But, the ones who are the most culpable are those who are maybe a bit older and who should know better. Because you know what? There's plenty of kids out there who are desperate to be YouTube stars and make money. And they're looking for any platform to grab onto that might bring them views and subscribers. And they've seen this influx of KDP experts. So here you go, here's a great platform. I'm going to jump on that. Okay, they're hoping that if they keep repeating what they've seen and heard in other videos and passing it off as their own knowledge, their own work, that they can attract those likes and subscribers. But it's those who have been promoting low and no content books for some time, who come across as mature and trustworthy, who are at the bottom of all of this. There's no or very little actual transparency, just a lot of boasts and a lot of promises. And for people who are desperate for money as quickly as possible, they will be drawn to that honeypot, and they will be angry toward anyone who says, stop getting drawn in. You are going to end up being very disappointed and still largely broke. But because we souls want to hear the fairy story, not the reality, they're not going to listen to that. They're not going to listen. They're going to continue to listen to the promises. But you know what? It'll all die a death in the end. It's going to die a death. Many of the experts are going to drop off the radar. Some will be exposed as less than honest and trustworthy as well. And KDP will reach a point at which it's had enough. In fact, that's already started, hasn't it? With saying no free ISBNs for low and no content books. So, okay, I did publish journals and a notebook. And they're even though I gave them my best shot, I don't think they're probably good enough. But I don't regret it. And I will at some point do my best to improve upon them. I'm just going to leave them where they are for now. They're not bad. I'm proud of the work that I put in. I'm proud of my own work, my poems, etc. And maybe come Christmas, I'll sell a few copies, because let's face it, journals, notebooks, etc. A lot of people are going to be buying them as gifts for other people. Especially, a gift you have to buy at the last minute. So, Susan likes owls. What can I buy for Susan? I know, I'll get her a notebook with an owl on it. Look, there's zillions of them here. Okay. But you see, I'm not going to be publishing any more books like that. I'm not going to. There are people out there who are expert on the subject. They can produce an excellent journal, an excellent planner. They know what they're doing. They've got experience, they've got skill, they've got talent. And so there are some real big sellers out there, but there's about, 99.9% out of all of it are wannabes and also rans as well. So for me, the next one is going to be non-fiction. And I have another novella in the making, but I tell you now, both of which are going to take me some time to write, and they're going to take a lot of effort. They may not be War and Peace sized volumes when I've finished either, but I'm not a quick writer. Some people can whisk stuff off, rapidly. I'm not a quick writer. But so be it. That's the way it is. But I'd rather do that than this. So if you too are becoming sick of the KDP experts, especially with a number of those who are crawling out of the woodwork in their hundreds, go and check out Sleepy Pilgrim. Now, and if you suspect that all that glitters is not gold, and you're starting to wonder just who to believe where all of this is concerned, tune in and hear what he has to say. Now, he pulls no punches. He tells it as it is. And he's got his own unique style. Nobody can emulate it. That's his style. he can get away with it because it's his style, because it's authentic to him. And as I say, I came across him when I'd reached the point where I thought, you know what, now this stinks. It really stinks. Something's not right here. And so I would also say to you, look, at the very least, we're being misled. Those of us who have been, trying to understand KDP and trying to, make good use of the platform, at the least we're being misled, and at the worst we're being conned. Look, why don't you just do something that you're good at? If you found yourself going down that pathway, and if you're trying to make millions by uploading lots and lots of books, that are not going to sell, because all you've got to do is do your research on Amazon, and you'll see that there are so many of these that are just not selling. There's no interest in them. And this advice to upload hundreds and thousands because you'll only sell 10 or 20% of them, I don't get that. Why not produce far, far fewer, much better and higher quality books? It doesn't make any sense. And it's clogging up the market for everybody else, although I'm sure that most people probably don't care too much about that, because it's each man and woman for him or herself, isn't it, really, in the world? But at least do something that you're good at. Learn your craft on the side whilst you're earning the money to pay your bills. That's what a lot of people do. That's what I do. I'm self-employed. I've got my day job. But, my publishing career, if you want to call it that, is something I have to do on the side, because I'm not earning anywhere near enough money to say, well, there you go, I can do this full time. And also, experience has taught a number of people that putting, one of my favorite sayings is, I say this a lot to my customers, putting all your eggs in that basket. It's not a good idea. You've got to have, be able to make sure you've got some income here and some income there. That makes sense in this modern day and age. And a lot of people, even people who are doing pretty well as authors, they still have at least part-time day jobs, if not full-time. So do something that you're good at. Learn your craft on the side whilst you're earning money to pay your bills. Make YouTube videos about something you know about, what you really know about. And stop trying to cash in on someone else's work and knowledge, because you will never, ever, ever find success that way. And so, those who are consistently drawn to the honeypot are, maybe they're a lost cause, but there will be some who are drawn to the honeypot who will wake up one day and go, you know what, actually, no, this doesn't make any sense. I'm wasting time and energy. I'm not sure I can even believe these people. I might be able to believe bits and pieces, but I'm not sure I can really believe them. So yeah, do yourself a favour and stop turning KDP into a pound or dollar store, because that's what it's turning into. Anyway, so look, I'm not going to be giving loads and loads of advice about KDP, but I am going to make some more videos because I do have some experience, but they will largely be along the lines of what I didn't know and where I messed up. And any useful things that I've learned that could be of use. I'm going to make some of those videos, and I'm going to make more for my other business as well. Because another thing that Sleepy Pilgrim has done, I don't know, he's encouraged me just through listening to him, watching his videos, about, being true to yourself, really true to yourself, and looking at your skills and talents, and, just following your own star, really. And I think I've been, like a lot of others, we went through a horrible time through the pandemic and we lost ourselves a bit. So, you know what, I'm really looking forward to getting back into the swing of things again, but in a better way and on a bigger scale. So if you're interested in hearing any more about self-publishing, independent publishing, then please press the like button and subscribe. I always forget to say that on the videos. And I'll see what I can come up with. But I promise you, with my hand on my heart, I will never, ever, ever, ever be promising you riches at the end of the rainbow. And some of you might even be doing better than I am, but I still might have a little bit of something that could be of use. Yeah? Okay then. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.